brakes set. Okay. Next thing is we're going to check to make sure we have enough air pressure in our system to do the test with. It needs to be up to about 120, 125, which is normal operating pressure. After we got that, now we have to secure the vehicle. We can secure the vehicle in one of two ways. The first way would be to push in the clutch, put the truck in low gear, shut the truck off, and take my foot off the clutch. The second way would be to get out and chalk the wheels and take the key with me. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do the first way right now. Alright, now we're secured. Now the last thing I'm going to do as I complete my setup is push in the spring brake buttons. Parking brake, trailer spring brakes. Now I'm going to wait until they're done hissing and filling up the chambers, releasing the spring brakes. Then I'm going to go into the first part of my test, which is the static test. All I'm going to do is check to make sure that after the initial 10 to 15 psi air loss from these, I then should lose no more than 3 psi in 1 minute. Now what you should do when you're out there on your own is actually wait at least 1 minute to check to make sure you don't lose any more than 3. Okay? Alright, now the next test is going to be the applied test. The applied test is when you're going to apply firm pressure to the brake pedal, or the all-service brake, and then watch your gauges. After the initial 10 to 15 psi air loss from applying your brakes, you should lose no more than 4 psi per minute for a combination of vehicle. And of course you want to hold it for at least a minute and make sure that you lose no more than 4. Alright? After that test, now we're going to go into what we call the first fan down. It's also called the warning light and buzzer test. Because during this test, we are going to fan down our brakes to about 60 psi. A little before that, the light and the buzzer should come on, warning us that we have a low air situation, problem. When those come on, if we're out there driving on the road, we should probably get off the road as quickly as possible. If we're about to have a big issue. Alright, but the first thing we want to do is turn the key to the on position. If the key's not on, then we actually don't have power going to the light and buzzer, and they won't come on. Turn the key on, let the gauges spool up, spool back down, buzzer go off, then we'll start fanning down. Alright, now we have a nice solid tone. Our low air light is on, and it's at about the right pressure for it to come on. So we know that system works like it's supposed to. Alright, now we're going to turn the key off. Now we're going to do the second fan down, which is the button pop-out test. We're going to make sure that these buttons pop out at the required level. Alright? So we're going to fan down to between 45 and 20 psi. At that point, the trailer spring brake button should pop out. This is also called the tractor protection valve. That should pop out. And then between 40 and 20 psi, the tractor parking brake should pop out. When this pops out, it helps to prevent a jackknife. And this pops out, it brings the whole vehicle to a stop. Alright? Fan down. Okay, I just heard my buttons pop, so I'm going to check. I see metal behind there, or silver back there, so I know they're both out. They popped out in the range they were supposed to, between 45 and 20 for that button, and then 40 and 20 for that button. So I know that system works now. Okay? Alright, now we're going to go and do a safe start. A safe start is what we do every time we start the truck up. First step, verify your brakes are set. Why? Because we're about to take it out of gear. And if we don't check, we might roll away. So clutch in, go to neutral. And we're in neutral, going to start the truck up. Then we're going to release the clutch slowly just to make sure we are in neutral. Okay. And that completes our safe start. Now we're going to go into the recovery portion of the test. We're checking to make sure that we go from 0 to 80 psi in about 3 to 3.5 minutes. Then at 60 psi, the warning light and buzzer should go off. Between 90 and 100 psi, the governor on the air compressor should kick in, tell them to start running and put more air into our tanks. At 120 to 125, the governor should tell the compressor to stop running. If for some reason the governor doesn't stop the compressor keeps on building pressure, at 150 psi, the safety release valve on the primary tank is going to pop, saving our system from damage. And that's the end of that test. That's the air leakage test.